Hello and welcome to the Mongers,
where we talk about the strange and freakish things in our slice of the world. I'm Christina.
And I'm Quincy. Let's wonder, Monger. Hi, Christina.
Hi.
How has your last couple weeks been?
Eventful.
Me too.
Yeah.
So much. I flew to the States. I'm
aware.
Did some U.S. stuff.
The U.S. of...
Correct.
Great.
And then came back, and I've got so many things to talk about.
All right. Where do you want to start?
Why don't you go first?
Why don't I go first?
Yes, because mine's going to be a story, and I feel like...
Okay.
I don't know. It's rats and spiders. Go on. Your thing is spiders. My thing is rats.
Well, my only spider thing is Spider-Man. The man of spiders.
My favorite kind.
It's just the new game. Like, I beat it in, 3 days?
That's what my notes say.
Yep, 3 days. And it was great. It was fan-freaking-tastic. But I've never beaten a game that fast. That was that long.
Okay.
Because I loved it a lot. There were a lot of glitchy moments. I sent you a couple.
That was fantastic. I laughed so hard.
Because of Spider Cube.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Essentially what happened in the game, it was like everything else had already happened. Like, it was basically, I was almost done.
Right.
And then I went in to change the costume that he was wearing. Like, there's different ones.
Isn't it called a skin?
In video games, yes.
Great.
But since it's Spider-Man, it's his costume, so it makes more sense.
I like that so much better. Go on.
Anyway, I was changing that up, and then all of a sudden my character just became a cube.
It wasn't like a big cube. It was just like a little guy.
Right. And like, after I restarted it and I looked at how the character's supposed to look, the cube's nowhere near him.
Really?
Really?
Like, it's not even like a cube, like
it's not part of his heel or anything.
No, but like, is it not like, I imagined it was like probably like his chest or something, how they were using it for, like, how the developers might have been using it to like mark his space or something.
Right, you would think. No, it was the very bottom of him. It was where his feet were supposed to be, except it was in the middle of him, but he's not standing perfectly straight all the time.
Right.
He's Spider-Man. I don't think I've ever seen him look upright in that particular way.
I'm so glad you said that, because I thought you were going to say, I've never seen him look straight. And
See,
I'm like,
I was
you've
tempted.
Seen Tobey Maguire.
That's the one you're going to roll with?
He looks vaguely straight in like the first 10 minutes of that film. You're right, none of them look straight, and I was trying not to feed into the fanfiction lore that is Spider-Man, so...
Yeah. Jesus Christ, you're right. Not one of them.
Nope.
They all look vaguely in one pool or the other.
Correct. And I'm very much okay with that.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, that's my spiders.
Come on to the rats, my friends.
Oh, God. Okay. Here we go.
So, we flew home, and we had a layover in Dallas, and then we ended up in Colorado, where I'm from. And we were in my grandmother's backyard, and I look over, and I'm like, I swear to God, that's a rat. And nobody else in my family saw it, and they were like, you didn't see a rat, we don't have rats. It was probably a squirrel. My grandmother is friends with all the neighborhood squirrels. It's wild.
Oh my, okay.
Oh yeah, I got stories. Anyway, my grandmother's like, it wasn't a rat, it was probably a squirrel. We don't have rats. And I was like, that's fine. We go about our day, and then we go to bed, and about 2 a.m., Ziggy, my dog, comes and like runs into the bedroom and is so excited to see us about something. And we were like, okay, I get it. Like, you realized we're here.
Yeah.
That we didn't go anywhere. Calm down.
Right.
Go back to sleep. Whatever. My husband gets up about an hour later and goes to use the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And he walks out into the living room, because we're staying in the basement. So he walks like out into the main basement area, mm-hmm. and like can vaguely see a pile of something.
Right.
And his immediate reaction is, oh no, Ziggy shit all over my grandparents' brand new carpet. They'd had this carpet maybe 3 days. Like, they just replaced the carpet.
Jesus Christ.
And Jake was like, oh no, like this is bad, right? So he turns around, gets his glasses and a flashlight.
Right.
And goes, okay, I must investigate what this is. And he gets up to it, and it has a tail.
Last time I checked, that's not how shits work.
My thought exactly, right? So he goes and he like looks at it, and it's a full-blown rat. Like not a small, like a large rat.
Yep.
And so he told me he wrapped it in a paper towel and went and put it in the sink. Because that's where rats go.
Absolutely. And I think he mentioned to me that it was the length of an actual, like...
roll of paper towels.
Yeah, like from top to bottom.
Yes.
That was the length approximately outside of the tail.
Yeah.
Which is insane. That's a huge-ass rat.
No, I think that was including the tail.
No.
No?
No.
Because I never saw this rat.
I didn't either, but that's what he
I'm just
told
relaying
me.
The story.
Right.
Okay, I should also preface the fact that this rat was very dead for this whole thing.
That's important information, yeah.
But the next day he like I get up, I get ready, he comes back and he's like, I go back into the bedroom and he's sitting there and he's like, so are you afraid of rats? And I was like, no. Like, my mom is, like, definitely afraid of, like, mice and rats and whatever. I'm like, no, I don't mind them. It's fine, whatever. He's like, cool, because I found one. He goes, and he's like, what should I do with it? And I was like, I don't know. Go ask my grandfather what he wants to do with it. Maybe he'll want to just, like, throw it away. Maybe he'll bury it. He buries a lot of things.
Yeah.
In his garden. So I was like, maybe we'll go see and whatever. But like, don't tell my grandmother. Mm-hmm. And he walks up the stairs and they're sitting together. Oh. And so he has to ask my grandfather what he wants to do with it. And my grandmother's like, it's not a rat, it's a mouse. Whatever. And my grandfather's like, okay, let's just throw it away. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just take it to the big dumpster. It'll be good. And so my husband goes and brings it upstairs, and my grandmother went, holy shit, like, lay that down on the deck and unwrap it. I want to see it.
Yikes. Okay.
And then basically the words out of her mouth were, holy fuck, that's a rat. And it's loud enough for me to hear from the basement.
Wow.
And I go, yeah, no shit, it's a rat. I fucking told you. Nobody paid me any fucking mind. Like, I did not exist for all intents and purposes of that conversation. And then, long story short, they throw away the rat, whatever. And I get to go tell my mom about it later that day. And I was like, I told you it was a rat. And my mom laughed really hard. And I was like, you want to know what my grandmother said to me about it after we found it? She said, I think you brought it in your suitcase from Korea because we don't have rats here.
Ma'am. That doesn't make sense at all.
My favorite thing about that fact is, one, we stayed in Dallas for almost 48 hours. We had unpacked our suitcases halfway in Dallas to, like, get to our stuff that we needed. And then when we got to Denver, my mom and my grandmother and I unpacked my husband and I's suitcases into the closet and, like, completely unpacked them. We actually went in duffel bags. So we, like, rolled up the duffel bags. There was nothing in there. Right. We did not bring this rat with us. I promise.
Like, honestly, I don't think I've seen a rat since I've been here either.
Oh, I have.
You have?
I have.
Okay.
But I saw it. I had gotten lost.
Okay. Is this when you were meeting me?
Yeah. No, I got lost coming home I was out with Adeline and her family who flew in. To visit, and I was coming home, and I got off on the wrong bus stop.
Okay.
And then it had me, like, cross the street and all this stuff, but there was this rat in just this big pile of garbage, and I was like, me too, bud. That's where I would be if I was a rat.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not the streets of New York, so you can't exactly go find a slice.
Yeah. Exactly. My thoughts. Exactly. But he was too fast. I tried to get a picture, and then I, like, snapped a picture, and I looked at it, and I was like, there's no rat. That's just a picture of trash. So I deleted it.
Watch you imagine the rat.
Oh,
it doesn't
exist. That would be so sad. I will say one other thing. while we were in Dallas, we went and caught the hockey game.
Yes, yeah.
Which I think we had talked about, how I was so freaking excited for this hockey game. So we get into the stadium, and my husband and I, okay, he blends in a little bit, like incognito, because his jersey is the military, I don't know if it's called like the military proud or something jersey. It's the dark green and like charcoal gray, and it's got like the flag patch and the I salute and stuff on it. Right. So it's very military coded.
So he does blend in, or he doesn't?
He did blend in, because the Dallas Stars are green and black. They're like an electric green, but he blended in enough.
Okay.
And I was in my big like puffer Avalanche jacket that's got the emblem really, really big on the back, and it's maroon and navy blue. So I stuck out like a sore thumb, and we were the only, like, we had made it up to the nosebleeds because that's where we were sitting, and there was a handful of people, and by a handful I mean like 4.
Oh.
People like in the section over from us who like yelled at me and was like, yeah, go Avs, when we made it up there. But everybody else was in like electric green and all that stuff for the Dallas Stars.
Okay.
The boys did so bad that game. They had no hustle. It was just not a good game for them. We sucked ass, but it was preseason, so it was okay.
That makes it better.
That's how I'm justifying this, yes. Okay. And then we like went about our vacation or whatever, and then the regular season started. Yeah. And they, at the time that I had written out the like my portion of the script and stuff, they were 6-0. They were kicking ass, man. Now they're 6-1. We lost a game, I believe last night or the night previous. We lost a game, but we are kicking ass, dude. The season is going so well. I'm ecstatic about it.
Words are hard.
They sure are.
Yeah, we were out last night, and there were TVs going on with sports, insert sports here, and basically
like all of them.
Yeah, and it was basically, I saw very little baseball somewhere. I don't know where it was.
It was like 0.2 seconds of baseball coverage.
Right. The rest was basically just talking about the singular Thursday night football game that was going on, or that had just gone on.
They talked about the Nuggets for a second and how they kicked ass at their, I think it was I don't know if it's the playoffs. It seems early for the playoffs. I don't really know how basketball works, though. All I know is the Nuggets won something and kicked ass.
Great. But then as soon as hockey came on for, 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Then you just stopped right in your place. You stopped right in your tracks. You stared at the screen, even though we were about to go and do something. I think we were about to go, like, order a drink or something.
Oh, I will say, when they were, because we were out at a military going away party yesterday. Yeah. And while they were giving speeches, there was hockey coverage going on in the back.
Oh, no.
And I felt so bad because, like, I knew who was speaking and stuff, so I kept looking at him and then looking up at the game and looking at him and looking up at the game. I felt so bad, but I was also already, like, kind of mortified because I had spilt that drink. Oh. Already. I had had one sip of it, went to shake hands with the man across the table, who I know I've met numerous times.
So why did you shake his hand?
Because he didn't know my name.
Oh, buddy.
Like, he said, like, my husband has probably mentioned it numerous times, but he didn't retain it. Yeah. Just like he told me he didn't retain your name, and I said, that's fine. Like,
which is fair. I didn't recognize him as who I, the name that they say all the time. Didn't look at him and say, oh, that's you.
Exactly.
Like, they all kind of look the same after a certain point.
Well, because, like you have their faces, and then you have all the names that we hear all the time. And at that point, they could be any of them. You could mix and match.
That's true.
So, like, it really didn't matter. But I full on already was embarrassed from, like, spilling that drink. And then, like, they were doing these big, important speeches about all this military stuff that I didn't understand. So I was just like, pay attention, watch hockey, pay attention, watch hockey, pay attention, watch hockey. It was awful. I felt kind of bad afterwards, but I was like, nobody would know. They were standing right in front of the TV from where I was sitting. It was fine.
Yeah.
Also, If anybody noticed, I'm so sorry.
I mean, I just based on the angle that you were,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, like, the only people that would have noticed were the people that were talking, and, like, who cares?
As if we weren't the ones there to celebrate them. Anyway.
Were we?
You and I know that is not what we were there for, purely selfish reasons.
Yeah.
And that was because they said, hey, it's a free food and an open bar coming out.
Yeah. But I mean, the guy that was leaving, he seemed very nice. I just didn't have many interactions with him.
The only time I've met him 2 or 3 times, and every time we were down at the faraway base, and we'd always run into him in the electronics aisle.
Classic.
So I had never seen him out of uniform, nor not in the electronics aisle.
Ah, gotcha.
So then when he walked in and I leaned over to Jake and I was like, who is that? And Jake was like, that's the dude we're here to celebrate. And I went, oh no. You know, I'm winning as a military wife. I'm literally living up to the name over here. Clueless of what's going on. Open bar. We're going.
Right. So we had a question at the end of last episode, actually.
Oh, we sure
skipped
did.
Right over that.
We sure did. And this was such a good question. So the movie City of Angels. We talked about last episode. So the question was, what is your City of Angels thing? What's your favorite part of living, or what makes life worth living for you?
Right.
What is your answer?
Do you want the serious answer or the funny answer?
Oh, great, because I have 2 as well. So hit me with the serious answer first.
The serious answer is matching somebody else's energy. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be somebody that you just met. It could be somebody that you've been friends with your entire life. It could be your mother. I don't care who it is. If you match that same energy that you have with that other person,
yes,
and you just click for, like, it could be 3 seconds, those moments.
That is a really great answer.
Well, thank you.
My serious answer was that moment between, like, when you're not quite asleep but you're not quite awake.
Oh.
And you're just kind of, like, floating.
Okay. I can dig it.
Sometimes you may have, like, thoughts
Yeah.
or coming in or out of a dream, that kind of thing. Just that, like, the weird little floaty moment in between being asleep and being awake.
That's very nice. I like that. What's your funny one, then?
Fan fiction. I can't even make it up. Fan fiction has been such a huge part of my life for over 10 years now.
Yeah.
That it, like, and it's just been very, very constant, whether it be in, like, actual full written out fan fiction, or if it was just, like, the little, like, shit posts where people, like, because I'm going to count that as fan fiction, where they, like, insert characters or whatever from movies or whatever, or that, all of that. Just, it's been so constant in my life from many different fandom that it's so good, and I can't imagine living without it.
Fair enough.
What's your funny one?
My funny one is basically any moment anybody's pet ever does something, like, really clumsy. You know, like when they just, like, run straight into the wall.
Oh, yes.
Like, those moments keep me going. Because the thing is,
a really good answer.
It's mostly their reactions.
Fair.
Like, if it were me, I'd be like, oh, I'm embarrassed. Ah, ha, 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 let's just laugh about it. No. Dogs just keep on walking and wagging their tail like, oh.
They're like, what? Oh, great. We're going this direction now.
Right. What's that smell?
That's a really good answer. Okay, Christina.
Yeah.
What was your life like here while I was gone?
While you were gone,
yes,
I had to watch over your cats,
which I immensely appreciate for numerous reasons. Go on.
And, like, I had a great time with them, to be honest. It was a lot of fun. However, there was an incident. The incident was they fought right in front of me.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was not a play fight.
No.
It was I'm going for the jugular fight.
It sure was. I really wish you saved that video.
I'm so sorry. I just happened to be filming a story on Instagram for it when it was happening. I was like, oh. And then I had to flip on the mom voice, and it was Not my favorite.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. But then Cinder ended up bleeding in various places, and I was like, oh God. So I had to emergency call you, which was not my favorite. I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, it was okay.
So that was a down, but there were so many ups. Your little man is the wildest being that I have experienced in a while.
What about my scrungly little man? Was
just his whole energy. It's just chaotic. You never know which way he's going to go. He does this thing with any like wooden object that is on the floor that's like a leg of a chair or something. He'll just go over to it, grab it, and just like, I don't know, just
like his little bunny feet.
Yeah. He's just constantly trying to like scratch it with his back legs, and I don't know why. But then he'll like be in the middle of that, and then he's like, oh, what was that? I gotta go chase that thing that doesn't exist. And then he'll run. He's got chaotic energy, and I'm here for it.
He gets the zoomies.
He does.
He gets the zoomies like a dog.
He certainly does. But the thing is he has asthma.
He does.
And he has a squished face, so that doesn't work.
Correct. He's highly medicated for it, too.
Right. That is why I had to come here twice a day.
I felt so bad.
No.
Because that's so extra. Because they have timed feeders and everything. They get fed every, 6 hours on the freaking hour. So.
Right. Yeah. You made it very easy for me to do basically everything else. It was just, I had to come over twice a day, and that's perfectly fine.
And sit on him. You didn't sit on him, did you?
I did not sit on him, no.
Great.
It took me a second to figure out what you were meaning, though. Pet sitting. I get it. It's funny. Ha. Anyway, so I actually hurt myself. And that wasn't fun either. Stop it. She's got sad pouty lip right now.
I feel so bad.
Don't feel bad. It was my own fault and whoever was driving that car. I need to explain.
You and Steven, I need to quit having bike interactions with vehicles. I need it to stop.
Listen, I actually didn't make contact with that car. So
thank God.
I need to explain a little bit because they're not getting a whole lot of information here. Yeah. Okay, so what had happened was I was on my way to go see the cats.
Yes.
And I was going from a side street that is around my place, and I was turning onto a sidewalk.
Yes.
And there was a whole lineup of parked cars right in front of that sidewalk. And the front one was like halfway in the middle of the sidewalk. Mm-hmm. They park like crazy here. It doesn't really matter what that spot looks like. They think it's a parking spot. It doesn't really matter. So I was just like, okay, I'm going to just weave my way around him, go from the front. It'll be fine. That car started moving. It was parked. It was off when I approached it. It must have been like a hybrid or something.
Electric.
Yeah.
How dare they?
It was so
Save
quiet.
the environment.
I didn't even see a person in there. But it started moving towards me as I was passing it. So I panicked. Instead of just stopping and letting it hit me for a second. I zoomed. I have an electric bike. So I zoomed just to get out of the way. And when I did that, going about 5-ish, maybe 7, 8 miles per hour, not really sure. It all happened so fast. I went onto the sidewalk, but there was one singular bollard. One very, very solid bollard.
I'm so sorry.
And my left foot found it. My pinky toe on that particular foot it's not great.
I'm so sorry.
I don't think it's broken, maybe? I don't know. I have an appointment on the 31st.
Great.
We'll figure it out.
Either way.
Happy. That happened I think you had a week left.
Yeah.
When that happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no. How am I going to get... Because you have to go uphill.
You do.
To get to your place. Yeah. So I was either going to have to electric bike and let the electric bike do all the work to get up here, or I was going to have to taxi. And the taxi seemed obnoxious.
Bus.
But I would have to walk up the hill.
Oh, from my... Oh, yes, from the bus stop to my house, yes. I live on an intense hill. too. Like, it's not
San Francisco.
No.
But it is not
nothing.
flat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to go up a little ways.
I feel like we should have prefaced the bike story also with the fact that we have bike sidewalks here.
Yeah.
It's not just like sidewalk, like people sidewalk, it's bike sidewalk. So like you're supposed to be on it.
Sort of. Like some sidewalks, yes. The sidewalk going to your place, not always the case, I found out.
Yeah.
Like there were so many Korean individuals that were walking along that path. And once they knew I was there,
yeah.
sometimes they would move. It was a 50-50 shot.
Yeah.
A lot of the time they were like, it's chicken. Let's go.
True.
I'll win. And I'm like, you're probably right. I will not run you over.
That's so correct.
So that was an experience. And not my favorite experience, but did I get to love on some cats? I sure did. I don't normally get to do that because my husband is allergic.
Like, not just like mildly allergic like I am. Like, I'm allergic to cats, but I own them.
Which is insane.
Steven is on another level of swell up like a balloon over here.
He does not swell. He does have so much snot that comes out of him. His eyes can't open. And
yeah, he swells.
He doesn't swell. It's more like the tear ducts activate and they don't stop.
Oh, okay.
And then he gets very red-eyed, and then he gets very sleepy, and then next thing you know,
and just
next thing you know, he's passed out.
Oh no, that's so sad because the excitement on your husband's face every time I come over and go, you need to see this picture, and he just gets so excited.
I know, like I am sad that he's allergic to cats because I don't get to hang around with cats.
Yes.
But he's even more like heartbroken about it. Because do you know how many friends he has that actually own cats in comparison to how many friends I have that actually own a cat?
A lot.
All of his friends.
All of them?
All of his friends own cats.
Well, I think that's part of being like in the nerd culture.
That's true.
Because they're like nerd homebodies anyway, so cats are also homebodies.
That's very accurate, actually. I get it. Anyway, I got to hang out with cats for like 2.5 weeks, and it was great.
Twice a day, every day. I'm so sorry they caused you so much trouble.
Dude, it's fine. They were not the worst part of you being gone. The worst part of you being gone was that bollard.
Oh, great. I'm so glad. I thought there was going to be something worse.
No, nothing.
Well, there's that point when, like, Jake and I were gone, and then Steven was also gone.
Yeah, that wasn't fun. So when Steven was around, it was really helpful because I had to take care of your cats, but I also had to take care of my dogs.
Right.
And my time was being pushed a little bit there.
Right.
And nothing was getting done at my house. Like,
fuck the dishes, fuck the laundry, fuck it all.
Yeah.
We have 4 mouths to feed.
Legitimately. So
5, you existed.
Oh yeah, I certainly did. I breathe the air. I eat the food. Anyway. Yeah, so I was kind of being pushed a little bit outside of what I normally do. And when Steven was around, he was really helpful with the girls and everything, my dogs. But when he was gone, especially after the bollard incident, that was not my favorite. And he begged me. It was the last day.
Yeah.
He begged me to take a taxi instead of biking because it had rained.
Oh.
So
fair.
Did that once, and I was like, wow, this is excessive and stupid.
You took a taxi?
No. I took a taxi there, and then I took a taxi back.
I couldn't tell him no on that either, so.
Yeah. It seemed reasonable, you know. He also wanted me to go to the ER when it happened, and I didn't do that, so I was like...
You should have.
I don't know if they would have done anything for me.
No, but they maybe could have given you some sort of, like, way to, like, wrap it or something. I don't know. I don't really know how the ER works.
The ER is essentially there to patch you up and say, this is probably what's going on. And they can do a scan if it's necessary. Okay. But for the most part, they're there to patch you up in the moment to make sure that you can make it to the doctor.
Okay, because the only times I've been to the ER were when I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's normally how...
Like dying.
That's normally how people are with the ER, because it's an emergency room.
Yes.
It's an emergency.
Yep.
Here's hoping.
Both times they're like, oh no. You know, like, you know that saying where they're like, yeah, if you're sitting in the ER, it's a good thing because that means you're not dying.
I've never heard that saying.
Yeah.
Not once.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so like if you go to the ER and you're sitting in the waiting room, it means you're doing pretty good.
Right. I mean, I can follow it and I get it. I've just never heard it before.
Yeah. I did not sit in the waiting room.
What exactly happened with your situations in the ER?
The first one, I had been slowly suffocating for about 2 weeks.
Please explain.
I had severe undiagnosed asthma. And we thought I had the flu. So we were like, it's fine. Like, she doesn't need to go to the doctor. She's got the flu. And I was like 12.
Yeah.
And my brother and I were notorious for getting really deathly ill once a year. We would get like the flu or pink eye, or I got strep all the time, right? So we were like, we know what this is. It's the flu.
Right.
And so, and my parents worked in like nursing homes and stuff, so they brought home everything.
Gotcha.
So we were like, it's the flu, whatever. And I wasn't answering my phone. And so, like, well, my mom was at work and I was home from school. So my grandmother came to check on me and I was like turning blue.
Yikes.
Like my lips and my skin and stuff. I was turning blue because I wasn't getting oxygen. But I was alive. I was fine. I was cognizant. I was there. But they took me to the clinic and they took my pulse ox and it was, I don't remember what it was. My mom would know right off the top of her head. But it was like dangerously low. And so they wanted to put me in an ambulance, and basically my family was like, no, don't do that, because it was America.
Yeah.
And my grandmother's right there. They were like, yeah, we'll just take her. I was like, I'm right here. We don't need to wait for the ambulance when we can walk out to the car. So they took me, and they took me back right away for that. And then the second time I was in the ER, I think it was the summer right before high school. And I caught an elbow from like a 250-pound, like 6-foot-tall man straight to the forehead.
Yikes.
I was at a concert. And they like hauled me off to the med tent because it was a festival.
Well, yeah.
And they couldn't do anything, and I kept trying to get the man to like call my brother and hand him my emergency stuff, and he didn't understand what I was trying to do. That poor man, he was so overwhelmed. I scared him. And then they brought me to like an ambulance, and the ambulance guy was like, I literally can't do anything. You look fine. Like, you got your shit rocked, but I can't do anything.
Yeah.
So my father came and picked me up. He fed me, and then he called his wife, and his wife works in the medical field, and she was like, you should not have fed her. Like, that's horrible to do for a concussed person. I don't know why, but apparently you're not supposed to do that.
No.
And then so he brought me into the ER because I was like, I might throw up, and that's bad when you have a head injury.
Kinda, yeah.
So they brought me into the ER, and they were like, oh no, and then they brought me to the back. It was fine.
Jeez.
And then I re-gave myself that concussion after I healed. Shortly, like after I started my freshman year during the school play.
What did you do?
We had this, so we were doing Noises Off, and I don't, if you know that show, basically it's a show where it's a farce, so you see what goes on in the show, and then there's scripted stuff that like goes on behind the scenes, because it's a show within a show.
Okay. And
so there's this house, and it's a set, and it splits in half and like turns around and comes back together, so you can see what's going on behind the scenes while they're acting.
Okay.
And I was in charge of the giant ladder that went up to the second story of the set. And it was way too heavy. It was like we had hand built that ladder, actually. It wasn't like a normal ladder.
Oh, wow.
And so it was very, very heavy. And I rocked my shit with it when I was pulling it down, and it was very off balance, and I rocked my shit in the head with
Big
it.
Yikes.
Yeah, but it was fine.
So
I didn't go back to the doctor for that one.
What?
I didn't.
You did not go back to the doctor for that one. You were just
I did not tell anybody about it.
It's probably fine.
Yep. It was great.
Your hate sounds not bad at all. Anyway. So, when you got home from your trip,
yes,
I noticed something way after the fact. When the first time we saw each other,
yes,
after you got back, because you took a couple days to readjust, which is totally fair.
I probably should have taken a couple more. Go on.
You came over to my place, and we had dinner, essentially.
We did.
And when you first got to my place, my dogs literally attack you with all of the love, and they insist on getting pet. They insist on hanging out. But they did their normal thing, except, a lot more screaming this time from my dog, and probably some pee, because that's what you do.
Yeah.
But,
the dog.
Yes, not you.
Yes, I got so excited to see you and the dogs that I just peed all over everything.
It's just that squat.
No, it's freaking Tootsie Roll.
Yeah.
Threatens to pee on my shoes every time I see her. But
she doesn't threaten.
No, that's true. It's only happened once. I'm pretty good at dodging.
I'm very proud of you. Leveling up. But they did their usual thing. They got really excited. And then when we saw each other, I don't know what we did, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't embracing each other and saying, hey, how's it going?
It wasn't. And I can tell you exactly why it wasn't.
Why?
Because I was so overtired, and just everything that I knew if I did, I would just start bawling.
Oh.
And so I couldn't.
Oh.
That's happened a couple times since being on vacation. So my Auntie Laura actually handmade us a quilt, and
it's currently on her.
It is. I'm snuggled in it right now as we speak. But it was our wedding gift.
That's lovely.
That just took way longer to make because we gave nobody notice we were engaged a week and a half.
Right. Yeah.
So
can't exactly quilt in that amount of time.
No, and we most definitely were we don't want gifts. We weren't even going to do a wedding. We were just we're going to do it.
Right.
But she ended up giving me this quilt, and I almost cried, but we were in front of everybody. We had a mini family reunion when we went home. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I can't do it. And then a day or two later, my husband wrapped me in it, and then I just cried. And I was it's so sweet because I can't. I'm a mess. I cry all the time, but I'm trying to do really well about not just randomly crying.
It's always the worst when you know why you're crying in your head.
Yes.
It all makes sense and it clicks for you in that moment. But then everybody around you, there could be no context at all for them, and you're just done.
Yep.
And they look at you and they're
1,000%.
like, oh, God, what happened? Are you good?
But that's why I didn't hug you or Steven, because I was just I can't do it. It's I will be inconsolable.
I mean, I have tissues.
Yeah, I know, I appreciate it. Thanks.
So another thing that happened when you got back.
Yeah.
Steven took my phone.
He really did.
I don't remember what you texted me. You texted me something.
So I had sent a voice memo.
Oh, that's right.
And I think
it was about
something along the lines of my husband was I'm gonna go watch videos in bed, and I went, haha, is that code for porn? And he went, no, of course not. What do you mean? I'm gonna go watch anime. And I went, okay, close enough. And then Steven was
no, hold on. So from my perspective, I listened to it, and Steven was in the middle of doing something, but he heard little snippets, and I think basically once he heard porn, he was like, what? Because there's just something about the word porn and man
that they gotta know.
Right. So he said, what? And then I said, yeah, this and this. And then he was like, hold on. And then he reached for the phone, and I was like, okay, you want to listen to it? So I handed it to him. So he didn't take my phone so much as I handed it to him, but I didn't anticipate this situation. He said, hello, Quincy. Guess what? I have Christina's phone, and she shall never see your message. Ha ha. It didn't record it. it's still recording because he tried to do it in a voice memo like
Oh,
you did.
yeah.
And he did it wrong.
He did.
Because my phone is different than his. And then you responded saying, what? That doesn't make any sense or something like that. And then he sent you Korean.
And I was so confused about what the hell that meant.
I translated it.
Oh, you did? Great.
Yeah. Like, do you not do that with stuff?
I mean, I usually do, but I was like, that's none of my business.
I mean, like, even like PSAs and stuff.
Oh, that I do. Those I do.
Okay. In Korean, the English translation here is, you were trying to get me into trouble with my lady. That's what he sent you in Korean.
I'm not trying to get him at all in trouble.
And then, you know, everything was fine after that because I got my phone back.
Yes.
But he clicked so many buttons. And, like, I know last night at some point I was trying to message you.
Yes.
And when I was trying to message you, it went straight to Korean. Or it was trying to translate something into Korean. And I was like, what's happening? So he did something on my phone.
Hilarious.
And I don't know what's going on.
Okay. That's really, really funny. Do you want to know something else that's freaking hilarious to me?
Hit me.
American Airlines has an obsession with Tom Cruise movies.
Explain.
So we got on the plane from here to Dallas.
Uh-huh.
And we were, you know how they have like the screens in the back of the chair in front of you, or they do like, they have the website you can go on and watch movies on your phone.
Yeah.
So I go on and I'm looking and I'm scrolling through these movies and I'm like, why is so many of them Tom Cruise? And I recall the fact that Korea has a thing for Tom Cruise and Tom Cruise has a thing for Korea.
Legitimately?
Legitimately. Like, This is where he vacations and like, yeah. I had a friend who was telling me about it when we first moved here.
Huh.
And she actually, like, when he came and did some promotional thing for, it was either Top Gun or Mission Impossible or something, like, she went out and saw him. Like, she stayed in the crowd and, like, watched him walk the carpet or whatever. But I was just like, wow, that's a lot of Tom Cruise movies. So I took the time. Keep in mind, it was like a 12-hour flight. 13-hour flight, whatever it was. Yeah. I took the time and went through and I counted out of all of the movies, how many of them were Tom Cruise? 11.
Oh.
There was 11 Tom Cruise movies on the flight from here to Dallas, right?
That's about 10 too many.
Right? It like, because I understand having like one and then maybe a sequel. Like if you just wanted to like throw Top Gun in there.
Sure.
Or like I think Jack
like,
Reacher was in there.
Yeah, or like if he had a movie come out.
Yeah.
Then you could do a recent one and then maybe an older, like throw a Top Gun or something in there.
Right, exactly.
Like an older, the older one, not the
new one.
Whatever the new
Maverick
bullshit was.
And so, like, that was fine. And there was a lot of movies on this flight, though. I would say there was probably 100 movies.
Goodness.
So a 10th of them were
Tom
Cruise. Right? So I was like, wow, that's a lot of movies.
I can't even name you 10 movies that Tom Cruise is in. Actually, no, that's a lie. That's just Mission Impossible.
Yeah, there was so many Mission Impossible. And then there was like Jack Reacher, both Top Guns, some war movie.
Oh.
I don't know. There was like a lot going on. Okay. And so I was like, for shits and gigs, I'm going, because I was so baffled. When we got on the flight from Dallas to Denver, I was like, I'm going to count how many Tom Cruise movies there are. 11. The same amount.
Oh. Wow.
And then I counted from Denver to Dallas on the way home. 11.
Do they have a quota or something? Like, what is this?
And then when we got on the flight from Dallas to Korea, do you want to take a guess? I'll give you 3 guesses and the first 2 don't count.
Is a 1 involved?
Sure was.
Is there multiple times?
Yeah.
Great.
11. Tom Cruise, what are you doing?
Hold on. So these were all American Airlines flights, yes?
Yes. So I feel like it was probably the same catalog.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No, but the thing was, the flights, like international flights had different movies than the stateside flights did.
Oh, no.
So they weren't all the same Tom Cruise movies.
Oh, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. That officially made it strange, American Airlines.
They weren't all the same movie.
That's wild.
I really hope there's a flight attendant out there going, really? I'm pretty sure they're the same movies. They're not. I checked. Sorry, girlfriend or sir, they're not the same. I went through and I checked. I almost went through and wrote them down, but I was just so over it.
Fair.
Flying that I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. But there was 11 of them for every flight.
That's nuts.
And there was also, honorable mention, every single one of the Twilight movies.
Every one?
Every one of them.
What the fuck do you need that for?
I don't know. Jake leaned over and said, hey, you should watch the Twilight movies. Because I've never seen them. I should preface with that. I've never seen the Twilight movies.
Right.
I've never read Twilight. Like, I
know it was about baseball.
I did think it was about baseball. So it was just like hilariously comical to me that every single one of them was on there, and he said that I should watch them for you because you would get a kick out of that.
I mean, I think that if you're going to watch any of the Twilight movies, there has to be a stiff drink in your hand. A drinking game with Twilight is probably the best, one of the top 10 experiences that I had in college.
Oh, amazing. We'll have to talk about that
did that.
another time. We will have to talk about that because that sounds really, really interesting.
I'm glad you think so. So you went all the way to the States to see your family, but you made a pit stop.
I made the best pit stop.
I apologize. Let me clarify. You made the best pit stop in Dallas.
I did.
Tell me details.
Okay.
I need them.
If you don't know, now you will. I have a slight obsession with John F. Kennedy.
Slight is the wrong word. I will say that as just an observational party.
I love the Kennedys. I love just all of it. And so when I was 12, we went to DC and we went to Arlington Cemetery,
Okay.
where the Kennedy family is buried.
I assumed.
And that was like such a life-changing moment for me.
And why is that? Do you know, or?
I don't know. Something just hit me. And like they have like the eternal flame burning, and it was just wild for me. Like there's just I'll unpack it in my brain later. Maybe we can talk about it. But
Right. That's a conversation for therapy.
me. Like that was it was so good. And then I had wanted to go to Dallas from that point on. To see Dealey Plaza and the assassination site.
Yeah.
And I finally got to go. And I got to see, they have, Dealey Plaza looks pretty big on video. I don't know if you've seen the Zapruder film.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen that, but I've seen pictures of the area.
Right.
Because I took at least one history class.
Right. And it looks pretty big. It's not.
Really?
It's small. And they have X's on the ground in the middle of the road to mark the impact. And
wow,
it was insane, dude. And we turned the corner and I saw the school book depository and I was just like, that's it, man. I recognized it right away. I didn't think I was going to.
Yeah.
But I recognized it immediately, and it was just, oh my God. So you know how people sit, there's that joke going around TikTok where men think about the Roman Empire all the time?
Yeah.
This is my Roman Empire.
That's wild. I mean, I get it. I don't personally get the Kennedy stuff, the specific why.
Right.
But I get it when you,
frame it.
There's just something that you just hyper-focus in on. And, that's just who you are. It's part of who you are anyway.
Yeah. And it was amazing. We did have a man try and sell us this magazine and also this thing he very clearly made in Word or Google Docs, that he printed himself. Like, he tried to sell us, and he tried to sell us this magazine that has the autopsy photos and all this stuff. And I was like, bitch, I have the autopsy photos. You don't need to sell them to me. I have them.
Did you think that I was an amateur?
Exactly, dude. I was like, you don't need to. You don't need to even bother, dude. I got them.
Right.
And also, like, I don't know. We got to do the whole thing. The actual school book depository was closed the day we were there, which was kind of heartbreaking. So we didn't get to do the tour and like see from the vantage point.
Yeah. That just means you have to go back.
That's what I said. I looked at Jake and I was like, I guess we're going to have to come back. And he was like, oh, what a shame. Because Dallas was wonderful. We also, when we were there, we went out to the new Meow Wolf exhibit, the trippy art museum, which was wonderful. And we love Meow Wolf. So we've been to 2 of the 4 now. And it was wonderful. And then that night we went to the hockey game. So Dallas was just wonderful. But Neely Plaza was so good. And
I'm so happy that you had such a good time.
Yes.
Like, that was the one thing, like, as soon as I knew that you guys were going to Dallas and having that layover, I was like, please let it not suck. Please let it not suck. Please let it not suck.
I know. I had this, like, bated breath moment of, like, what if it's not everything that I've put it up in my brain to be?
Right. Because, like, the fact that you said that you were, like, 12.
I was 12, yeah.
When that magical moment happened.
Yeah.
Like, that... There's something about nostalgia and just you being a kid looking at things with like these magical eyes where everything just looks fantastic and wonderful. And then you throw that in your brain and then you throw it up like 5 notches.
Right. Because it's a memory.
Right. And it's something that changed you. Mm-hmm. And then when you're actually there and you're an adult with adult eyes, it just... There's the possibility that things can disappoint, and I'm so glad that it didn't for you.
The 10 years in the making was definitely worth it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm very happy about it.
Good.
And I got beautiful pictures, and it was so good.
Great. So...
Enlighten me about the chicken nuggets, please.
So I am a vegan. I don't think I ever, like, explained... why I went vegan. Like, yes, there's, the typical reasons, but like the story itself of how I got there.
Enlighten me.
So I worked in radio, and when I did, I worked with this this other producer because we produced commercials. Great. And when I would do my work, we would just go in each other's studios and hang out because we actually got along really well.
Great.
And one of the conversations that we were having, I went into his studio just to talk and hang out. And we were talking about nutrition. We were talking about health. We were talking about how we try to stay on the side of healthy, but then we also have the moments where we're like, I just really need some chicken nuggets, or I really need some ice cream, or like...
Right.
And I said, yeah, I've got some dino nuggets in my freezer right now. But I said specifically Tyson Dino Nuggets. And as soon as he heard Tyson, he said, really? And he perked right up and he said, Tyson, I've got a video for you.
Oh, no, I know.
Oh, yes.
We had to watch this in school.
And it didn't fuck me up in high school because I saw those too. But like, I don't know what it was. There was something in the water. There was something in the air in Kansas. But fuck, I could not handle it. And I actually like had a breaking moment in his studio in front of my boss, of course.
Oh, no, of course.
And I was like, oh my God, what the fuck happened to me? Like, something's different. And it was kind of like your Kennedy stuff, but just way worse. So much worse. So, chicken nuggets are the reason that I'm vegan. Dino nuggets, specifically.
Great. So happy for you, I guess.
Are you? Because I wouldn't be happy for someone if that was
No, I'm glad that you're happy in your lifestyle. R.I.P. to the Dino Nuggets.
Yeah. I think my roommate ate those.
Thanks, Rumi. Okay, so you know how last episode that we were unscripted and I was talking about surprising Atlas and we were very, very excited about it?
Yeah.
So I did get to go surprise Atlas,
Yeah.
and I broke him just a little.
Excuse me?
Because I showed up and he wasn't ready.
Oh, okay.
I will say, though, it didn't go exactly according to plan.
Uh-huh.
Because his pseudo mother-in-law, I say pseudo mother-in-law, it's because they're boyfriends, because Atlas and Jordan aren't married.
Okay.
His pseudo mother-in-law accidentally spoiled the surprise.
Mother bear.
I know. I couldn't feel totally bad because
Yeah.
it was
an accident.
Atlas
probably.
was hiding in the back of the car to scare Jordan anyway. So like,
it really wasn't a situation where
she purposely
it wasn't on
was like,
purpose.
hey. But no, I did get to surprise Atlas, and it was very good. It was very exciting. And we did 2 dinners while I was home, and it was really, really exciting to see him. And we had a really good time. And so I just wanted to give you a little update back on that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it was very, very exciting, and I miss him, and I miss my friends. I got to see pretty much everybody when we were home, and it was so good.
Well, I'm glad it was such a good experience. I know there's been so many moments here where you just have this look on your face, and then I ask you what's up, and then you're like, I just miss my people.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you actually got that.
Yeah. It was very good. I didn't realize how much of I've changed as a person since I've been here until I went home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, well, when I left home I was 20.
Yeah.
Like, and I know 2 years isn't that long.
Yeah.
But like, I can drink now. I can legally go into a pot shop now. We did. It was fun.
Great.
But like, all my friends are older. They all have their own lives, we're not in high school anymore.
Yeah.
We're not barely starting college or,
Yeah.
like when I had moved away, my friends were in their sophomore or freshman year of college, freshly moved away.
Yeah.
And I was moving away, and now we've all really settled into our lives more than we have ever been before. So it was really exciting. My note here says, I got bangs and I drink Bud Light now. And I think that's hilarious because I did get bangs, which is not necessarily new. I had bangs for a very long time. But I've had this first time I've had bangs in Korea. But also, when I was home, everywhere I went, nobody sold any beer I liked, but everybody sold Bud Light. So it's like, I guess I'm going to drink Bud Light now, and it's not horrible.
It's the white people drink.
It really is.
Like, I've never met anybody that wasn't, like, if they're not, like, an avid beer drinker, like,
right.
They have to have it from the brewery, like, straight up, like, oh, I like my IPAs, like, that kind of guy.
It has to be Breckenridge. Whatever.
Right. Like, if they're not that person and they're just a regular average Joe Schmo that wants a beer, Bud Light's it. Like, and I don't know why. Like, I like Bud Light. Don't get me wrong.
It's because you're a white person.
It is because I'm mayonnaise flavored. Flavored, I hate that. Nope.
Speaking of mayonnaise flavored.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I got my new merch in from Hoodie Allen.
Uh-huh. What did Stephen Markowitz send you?
I ordered a mystery bundle. It was a t-shirt and a hoodie.
That's wonderful.
Or I guess it was a sweatshirt because it's a crew neck. But I got a white Whatever USA sweatshirt.
Nice.
And I got what I'm calling the pinup shirt. It's got like a pinup, and it's in the style of like an old, like a New York deli or a pizzeria kind of shirt.
Yeah.
And they're wonderful. And I also got a necklace that says The Hype on it, like the album The Hype. Anyway, I'm just very excited because I know a couple of, like, last episode or the episode before, we were like, what would you put in a circle to summon you? And you said a Hoodie Allen sweatshirt, and I got another one.
You sure fucking did.
I'm very, very excited about it.
I'm curious now.
Yes.
I need to know. You follow up on all of his shit.
I do.
Which means you probably are the only person that I know of that would be able to answer this.
Hit me.
Has he ever released a hoodie that just says Allen on it?
He is not.
Jesus Christ, that's a missed opportunity. Why? Steven, what are you doing?
Do you want me to slide into the DMs?
You have before.
I have.
So
he and I have had conversations. Yes.
I want a hoodie that just says Alan on it. Nothing else. I don't care what color it is. I don't care what font it is. I don't care how big the Alan is. It could be the smallest little Alan
just
you ever did see.
Over the chest, like a name tag would be.
Yeah. Hit me. I'm in.
I will design it and just send it to him and be like, this was the brainchild from a podcast. Please make this merch. It's yours. You don't even have to buy it. I want nothing to do with it. I just need to know that it exists.
Yeah, like that's all I want at this current moment.
Okay. I'll make a crudely edited portion, like a crudely edited photo of it and send it his way just for you, Christina.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That makes me feel so happy right now.
Oh, I'm so happy you're happy.
So we got a listener that reached out and they said,
slow clap.
I am the most surprised that when Quincy heard the stuff about the choke slam involving Abraham Lincoln, that she didn't automatically say, ooh, Daddy Lincoln, because you just say Daddy Bezos all the time.
So this one's for you, my dear listener. Daddy Lincoln.
I hope that brought you joy.
Please don't unfollow us for that.
Oh. Well, now that we got that out of the way.
Speaking of see me then, I have a hot person of the week for you.
Do you?
It's literally still Lewis Pullman.
Why? You can't doublesies.
Okay, then we'll move on to our honorable mention. I was going to mention his band Attaboy and all that good stuff, but I guess we don't need to talk about it.
All right.
Our honorable mention, once again, or I guess we've not talked about him, but he's back on my radar. Sebastian Stan. Because, of course, he's making his way back up through the ranks.
All right.
I saw an old, like a photo shoot from 2019, I think, and I was like, yep, makes sense. He's back.
He's back in my brain.
He sure is.
There is no stopping.
Can we just, like, throw it back to Lewis Pullman for a second?
Oh, why?
Because we were talking about how I have this tendency to really, really like movies that everybody else thinks is garbage.
Yeah, like, what the fuck, dude? What did something break in your brain at some point in your life?
Yeah, I was at Arlington, remember?
Okay, I feel like that has nothing to do with movie taste. However, what does have to do with movie taste is you being like 11 or something and then walking into a living room where your father is watching. Say it.
He was watching Rock of Ages, and I turn and I look at the TV, and it's just that close-up of Tom Cruise's ass in the chaps, where it's just ass and chaps. Mm-hmm. I can't call them assless chaps because by the nature of chaps, all of them are assless.
Correct.
However, it was Tom Cruise, close-up of his ass. I was not ready. Mm-hmm. And that's ingrained into my brain forever. And maybe that's why I like all these movies that are just kind of vaguely fucked up.
Yeah, I feel like there's a little bit of that, but then also, like, that might also explain the whole Tom Cruise thing, why your radar's up every time you hear the name Tom Cruise or you see the name Tom Cruise or you see his face or that one wonky tooth. That took you a little bit to recognize what I said.
Because I was processing it. Yeah, but you're totally right. Maybe that's why I am the way that I am.
I don't know. I feel like it was just that affected you more
Speaking
than
of Rock of Ages.
Yeah, you tried so hard to watch that.
So I was home visiting, and my friend Volt was in town. Volt and I met on Tumblr 5 years ago, and I flew home, and they flew in to see me. We met for the first time. It was all very, very exciting. Like, immensely so. Hi, Volt. I love you. But we decided, by we, I mean my mom, Volt, and I decided to sit down, get stoned, and watch Rock of Ages, because my mom guaranteed it to us that it was weird and campy and hilarious, and that we would love it, right? And Jake was there too. He was not high. Of course he wasn't. He's military.
Right.
And he's very, very concerned about that. But he was, apparently, so it has been retold to me. I got so high, and I was also drinking, I've been told. Which
I feel like contributed more. It was the combo of high and drunk.
It
not
was
necessarily
one
because
10 milligram gummy,
right?
and
but I don't think
one
it was
Mike's Hard Lemonade.
That's all it takes sometimes. I mean, you should have seen my mom. Have I told you this story?
Can I finish mine? And then you must.
Yeah. Absolutely. Just so I don't forget. Just remember Christmas.
That's
all I need.
So we were sitting there watching this film, and I was so zonked.
Yeah.
That I currently recall very, very little of it, to the point where people had to remind me that Alec Baldwin and Katy Perry's ex-husband,
Russell Brand,
that they were in it, and they were two of the main characters. I vaguely remember nothing of this movie, and Jake kept saying that every time he would like let go of my hand to take a drink of his beer, that I would get very upset. So that's pretty much all I remember of that movie. I vaguely remember Tom Cruise singing. Because the thought crossed my mind. I was like, is this really Tom Cruise? And that's really all I remember.
That's it. That's all you got?
That's all I got. And I texted Volt and I was like, hey, do you remember any of this movie? And they were like, yeah, I remember. Like, it wasn't great. You didn't miss much.
I mean, fair.
But that's my Rock of Ages story. Hit me about Christmas and your mama.
Right. Okay, so...
Yo, mama.
My mom hurt her shin knee area. And when she did, basically, she cracked a little thing. She went to the doctor, got a surgery done. Surgery didn't go as well as they told her.
Rude.
Yeah. They ended up cutting into her bone, and they should not have. It was unnecessary. And then they, use screws to place it back where it needed to go. And they botched it so bad that she got fucked up. She's still fucked up to this day because of it. Yikes. It's not as bad as it once was. Like, it was to the point where she had no muscle, she had no nothing.
Oh, no.
It was not looking very good for her being able to walk normally ever again.
Okay.
But she actually did a very good job, and she got through it.
Great.
And she's good now. Like, not perfect, but she's good.
Right. Happy to hear that.
But while she was in recovery for it all, they prescribed her Loratabs, I believe.
Okay.
They gave her such a low dose that it didn't seem like a problem. It was enough to help with the pain, but it wasn't going to make her like...
Yeah.
Well, she forgot.
Oh, no.
And she threw in like a shot of Bailey's into her coffee that morning. We were supposed to go and get a Christmas tree that day.
Oh, no.
She doesn't remember a whole lot from it. I'll give you the highlights. There was a part of a Christmas tree that had fallen off. It was like this little baby, like, wisp. And she was like, oh, that's a little tickly thing, isn't it? And we were like, oh, yep, guess it's tickly. And we were like, oh, Mom's just being silly. And then we were like, wait a minute. This is a little extra, isn't it? Yeah. And she thought it was snowing. Wasn't. I've never seen her like that. And I will never see her like that again because she's never going to be in that position again.
Right.
That was the only time in my entire life where I was like, holy shit, she good? She needs a nap.
That's hilarious. And I'm so happy for her.
But it was just a shot, and it was a Loratab. And it messed her up, and she don't remember a damn thing. So it doesn't take much.
I guess it doesn't. I guess that's the moral of the story. Don't do drugs and drink at the same time. I know the actual saying is don't do drugs, stay in school,
Yeah.
don't drink and drive,
Yeah.
all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe just don't mix your legal drugs and your
know.
alcohol.
I know people are like, don't mix,
Yeah.
you know, your darks and lights and all of that. That doesn't matter. In my experience, that doesn't matter. What does matter is if you have insert some sort of drug that's supposed to be an upper, and then you bring in alcohol, which is a downer. Once you mix those two, you're fucked. You're so fucked.
You would think they'd cancel themselves out,
You
but
would think.
they just cancel out your ability to remember instead.
I think that's a really good way for us to end this. Do you have a question of the week?
A question?
What the
Ooh.
fuck was that? Oh, that was
was
her new fancy phone. She's got one of those that bends.
the flippy phone. Yeah, sorry. It was my husband responding to my text message from when I sent him texts last night when they were out partying. For the after the going away.
Yeah.
And sorry, it's on vibrate and my whole desk just went blah, 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 blah.
It spooked me.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Speaking of things you shouldn't mix, here's your question of the week. What are 2 mundane things in life that you just should not mix?
Interesting. Okay, all right.
And with that, we will leave you to have a wonderful week. It was good talking to you, Christina.
It was great talking to you, Quincy.
Good talking to you, my friends on the other side of the microphone. I hope you enjoyed listening, and I hope you have a lovely week. Love you. Bye.
Love you, bye.